Spider-Man fans, I might be the only one thinking this, but when I heard the latest plot details involved with Madam Web, this was my exact reaction.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
Hello Spider-Man fans, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. We just got some insane updates concerning the upcoming Madam Web movie that Sony's still gonna try and force down our throats. But I gotta tell you, the new plot details that just leaked online for this movie really intrigue me. I don't know whether I love it or hate it, and I think a lot of you guys will also be debating that here in the comments, but I'm gonna be breaking it down all here for you guys. I also need your opinions down below. What do you think these details for Madam Web? Do you think this will actually be a good, cohesive movie? I know a lot of people lost faith after Morbius, clearly because we know they can never make something that peak again.
Intriguing. Hope the food's better in this joint.
Still, we're hoping for the best with this one, so let's just dive into the news we got right here. So, this is coming exclusively from the Cosmic Circus, and I want to put a disclaimer right there. Kind of take this then with a grain of salt. This is a semi-new movie reporting website that I have seen them get some stuff right, but I haven't been following them long enough to see if they have a great track record, so just take it with a grain of salt. But I'm talking about this because a bunch of other bigger sites are reporting on it like they have heard this too. And well, in this article, they're reporting the names of a couple of characters that are going to be popping up in the Madam Web movie, and I was so shocked to learn about these characters. Starting off here with the ones we should already know about and not be that surprised, Dakota Johnson is playing Cassandra Webb, the first version of Madam Web. That's really not a shocker to us. What is going to be a shocker is when we find out what her backstory and origin is in this movie, because Sony has already come out and said they're going to reinvent her. She's not going to be the blind, paralyzed clairvoyant who just sits in a chair for the entire duration of the movie, and instead Sony wants to make her like the Doctor Strange of the Sony Spider-Man spin-off universe, whatever that means. Then we have Sydney Sweeney, that I know a lot of us were hoping was either playing Spider-Gwen or maybe even Black Cat. That would have been amazing. No, she's going to play the next Madam Web, which is the apprentice of the current Madam Web, Julia Carpenter. That actually kind of makes sense to me. I figured that would be the case, so we're going to have this Madam Web training the next Madam Web. And same thing goes for these next two actresses. Since they are being named after actual characters in Spider-Man comics, we can kind of have an idea of what they're going to go with, because these two actresses, Celeste O'Connor and Elizabeth Merced, are set to play Spider-Man variant characters, one by the name of Maddie Franklin and Anya Corazon. They have pretty convoluted origin backstories, and there's really no point getting completely into them because the end result is they have Spider-Man-like powers, and we know Sony is going to change their origin the same way they're changing up Madam Web's origin. So now let's get into the real juicy stuff that blew my mind and made me go, what the heck is this movie then? Turns out Adam Scott, according to this article, is going to be playing a young Ben Parker. That's right, everybody was speculating that maybe Adam Scott was somehow going to be playing a version of Spider-Man for the Sony universe. Nah, son, he's playing Uncle Ben, and I hope he's wearing a bulletproof vest, because you ain't get shot someday, Adam Scott.
What are you doing here?
I'm dying.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Ben.
And keeping in with the theme of how Sony is just changing up all these Spider-Man characters to fit in with this Madam Web movie, we've gotten set photos where it looks like Adam Scott is some sort of paramedic. And that was never really part of the origin or backstory of Ben Parker in the comics. He was never a paramedic, but for this movie, he will be, it looks like. But I mean, we could all kind of agree that goes with the character of Ben Parker, someone that just wants to help out other people and be a good person and eventually teach those lessons on to little Peter Parker. And well, speaking of little Peter Parker, we also have Emma Roberts, who's going to be playing Mary Parker, aka the mother of Peter Parker. This now really puts a whole new perspective on the set photos we have gotten of Emma Roberts, who is pregnant, and if this is the mother of little Peter Parker, that means Peter is in that belly right now getting cooked up. Now having those major two character reveals, Ben Parker, Uncle Ben, and Mary Parker, the mom of Peter Parker, this really now should open your eyes to what exactly Madam Web is, and it's essentially a Terminator ripoff.
Come with me if you want to live.
Whatever.
It looks like that's what the movie will be about. Right now, they don't have confirmed a villain, or they don't mention one in this article. Rumors have it that it could be Ezekiel, which is a Spider-Man character. That is a villain that is kind of connected to the multiverse of Spider-Man and Spider-Man totems. And that would kind of fit in with what they're trying to accomplish here with Madam Web, because it looks like whoever the villain is of Madam Web is trying to go back in time or into the multiverse and trying to stop the birth of little Peter Parker, because obviously they're destined to be someone great when they grow up. And they could also be targeting Uncle Ben, because that is an important central figure in a Spider-Man's life that eventually teaches him the line, with great power comes great responsibility. And look, I'm someone who loves the Terminator franchise. I love the premise of a character having to travel back in time to protect another and all the shenanigans that come with the Terminator franchise. And now to see we're eventually going to get that in the Sony Spider-Man spin-off universe, I'm kind of hyped to see it. I just have no faith at all they're going to execute this well. Also, with this information being out there, it's caused a lot of people to speculate and wonder, then what is Sony trying to do here? Is this the background origin story of Tom Holland's Spider-Man? Because the movie is set to take place in 2002-2003. And if we look at Peter Parker's passport from the MCU, that's around the time he was born. But I really don't think this is going to be some sort of secret background origin story for Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I think this is what we've been hearing for a while, even from the director of Morbius, where they were letting us know Sony does have a plan to introduce their version of a Spider-Man for their spin-off universe. It's not going to be Toby, it's not going to be Tom, it's not going to be Andrew. It's gonna be whoever this little baby grows up to be. Because rumor has it, by the end of Madam Web, it'll flash forward us into present day, where this little baby Peter Parker is now an adult, has gone through his origin, bitten by a spider, Uncle Ben is dead, and then he can face off against Venom, Kraven, maybe even Morbius if he's still out there. This is just really so conflicting and wild, because it's also like, how do the other Spider-Man variant characters fit into this? Like, does Madam Web pull them in from different multiverses or different points in time to help out with this one situation? Or maybe are these also other victims of whatever bad guy is out there trying to take care of all these future Spider-Man characters? It's a wild, crazy start, and you know what? I'm curious to see it go down. It's just like I said, I have no faith they're going to execute it well. But still, something I just wanted to bring forward to you Spider-Man fans to keep you in the loop, because this stuff is wild. What do you guys think about this being the plan and plot for Madam Web? Do you think a Spider-Man Terminator-like story could work? Like, that does sound badass. Someone going back in time to kill little baby Spider-Man? I could see that working, but it's also like, this is Sony we're talking about. Anything and everything, be sure and like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.